I'm here this morning at the European Parliament with Mr. Proinsias de Rossa, Labour MEP for Dublin. Good morning, Mr. de Rossa.
Good morning.
This morning I want to talk to you about economic recovery and the financial crisis. Here in the European Parliament, everyone is amazed at how Ireland's economy has taken a very sharp downturn. Can you explain how this happened?
Well, you're absolutely right that everybody is amazed, not least the people of Ireland, who understood from the Fianna Fáil party and Charlie McCreevy that this would go on forever. But of course it was built on a bubble, it was built on a property bubble, and unfortunately bubbles have a habit of bursting. And that is what has happened in Ireland. The consequence is that the money which was being taken in from property speculation is now gone, and the services that were being supported by that income now can no longer be supported, because while they raised money on property speculation, they cut taxes on income. So now the government has to introduce huge reforms in terms of the tax system, but also, of course, part of the problem related to the lack of regulation of the financial institutions in Ireland. Not only was there weak regulation, but in many instances that regulation was not applied. The consequence of which, of course, is that the financial institutions got into trouble by lending billions to property speculators who now cannot repay those loans. So the Irish taxpayer, again, is now having to step in to save them. So that is the reason we are in the mess we are in quite now. It's a combination of weak financial regulation, which is a global problem, but also incompetence on the part of the government, who has allowed this to be a deeper recession in Ireland than anywhere else in Europe.
Now, you're an experienced MEP and former minister in Ireland. What do you think Europe can do for Ireland and the member states to help recover from this?
Well, I think the most important thing that Europe can do is to put in place European-wide regulation of financial institutions in the first instance. That has to be done at the European level, but also at the global level. We're still not seeing enough action on that front. The second thing that needs to be done is that we need to have a stimulus package put in place, which actually gets demand going again in the economy, because clearly once you have the banks stabilised and hopefully with money to loan, you then need demand in the economy in order for companies to draw down that money and get working again. Unfortunately, the European Union, the heads of state of all of the member states, have decided not to put enough money into the economy, and so we're going to have a very weak recovery for the next year or two, and that will prolong the depression that we're now entering into. So we really need public pressure on the member state governments to actually increase the stimulus of the in the economies, to increase demand, so that the economies can get working again.
Now, today the G20 summit is taking place in London. What would you like to see come out of that summit?
Well, I would like to see an agreement in the first instance for global regulation of the financial institutions, an end to tax havens, the closing down of money laundering, and I would like to see an agreement between the United States and the rest of the industrialised world to actually increase the stimulus package, as Barack Obama is urging. I'm afraid, however, there is still a lot of doctrinaire, commitment to the sort of market fundamentalism that has brought us to this point so far, and so that's being resisted. So I'm afraid the outcome of the G20 is not going to be sufficient to deal with the crisis. I think too, of course, that as we in the Socialist Group here in the European Parliament have been saying, we need a bigger forum than the G20 20, because of course this global crisis is affecting everybody, not just the 20 most industrialised states in the world.
Thank you very much, Mr. Durrasa.